What's up, everyone? Today we're making
賀年齋菜
Buddha's Delight. I grew up eating this every year on the first day of the Chinese New Year, but I never really understood why it was so important to our family and Chinese culture until my parents explained why in this video. Maybe you grew up with this too, but if you're not familiar, this Buddha's Delight is a guaranteed crowd pleaser, packed with over a dozen vegetables, crunchy textures, and creamy flavors. My dad's been making this for over 50 years now, and he'll be sharing a special stir-frying process for home cooks and 3 essential ingredients most people have never heard of, starting with bamboo fungus.
我哋浸咗啲竹生先嚇，浸佢10分鐘就再洗乾淨，凍水落去先，開咗水先。
My dad mixes cold and hot water to get warm water here.
40-50度咁上，嗱暖暖地嘅得嘅，嗱浸住佢，咁浸佢好快脆就浸開㗎咋。
We'll also soak the vermicelli, cloud ear fungus, and dried shiitake mushrooms in warm water. Make sure to reserve the water you're soaking the shiitake mushrooms in for an important step later. After those are all soaking, it's time to cut some ingredients.
海鮮菇咧，嗰個頭嗰度咧就切咗佢，唔好要啦。呢啲根唔好要啦。當然你想俾多啲少啲都係冇問題，你中意啊。海鮮菇切到之後咧，你水浸佢，噴佢洗乾淨佢。呢個係杏鮑菇，嗱切咗佢先，再切片。呢個係芹菜，切條。紹菜咧，你可以就咁切又得，我就選擇咗咁樣拎佢出嚟。呢啲咧就要煮耐啲，呢啲就唔使煮咁耐嘅。呢啲咧我選擇就咁搣就得啦，唔使去切啦嚇。咁樣嘅口感係同切有啲唔同，咁搣佢。呢個係10個安士咁上下紹菜，你中意多就多啲，少啲。廣咧要煮耐啲，呢啲咧就唔使煮咁耐啲嘢。
Now, my dad's gonna teach us a simple way to make your carrots fancier.
紅蘿蔔咧，情咁切又得，靚啲攞啲花出嚟咁就可以得。嗱，切咗佢。嗱，咁切嘅一片片，嗱，係嘛？好似有啲花紋咁啦，係嘛？
Growing up, I ate this all the time without really questioning why. But finally, I learned more about this tradition that's been passed down through many generations.
Did you eat this growing up?
In the New Year, yes. One of my favorite New Year dish. Since I was little, I remember we get red envelope, we get new clothes on.
即係我哋鄉下咧，都食咗齋出門口，食完齋你先至出去食肉。
有啲習俗係唔食肉嘅。Different area have little different. For me, I remember my parents treat us. We don't eat meat that day.
Why is it forbidden to include meat in this dish? Well, in Cantonese, this dish is often called Ho Nin Zai Toi or Lo Hon Zai, which literally means arhat vegetarian food. To which you might say, what's an arhat? In Buddhism, arhat refers to one that has reached nirvana, but in the context of this dish, it refers to the original followers of Buddha.
For Buddha's religion, they think in that day no meat. That means they don't kill the animal. So for New Year, first day is very clean, setting the whole year safe and well and good luck.
You might also be asking, why are there so many ingredients in this dish? Well, going back to Chinese Buddhism, there were originally 18 arhats, and traditional versions of Buddha's Delight feature 18 ingredients to represent the 18 arhats, with many of the ingredients containing their own auspicious symbolism. Of course, like us, you don't have to have 18 ingredients, nor do you have to eat it for New Year's. This dish is a delight for vegetarians and meat lovers all year round. Next up, we'll learn how to prepare an ingredient you absolutely cannot skip.
呢個係冬菇，呢啲冬菇咧切咗個頂嘅先。呢啲頂咧你可以留翻我嚟滾湯嘅時候俾落去滾湯又得。咁樣咧就大個得滯啦，咁切咗佢，咁斜啲刀咁切佢，嗱，睇下。
After cutting all those ingredients, we'll move on to our aromatics. We'll smash, peel, and mince 3 cloves of garlic. Next, we'll chop up an equivalent amount of ginger into slightly larger pieces. Now, we'll return to the bamboo fungus that's been soaking.
竹生浸開咗之後咧，我就洗下佢，嗱，攣埋佢喺個頭嗰度。呢啲咧，呢個部分咧，我哋唔要噶啦，要佢頭嗰部分嘅啫嚇。
We'll squeeze out the water from the top down, then cut off the ends, leaving only the heads of the fungus. At this point, you might be wondering, what is bamboo fungus? Bamboo fungus is a great vegetarian alternative to meat since it gives an amazing earthy flavor and meat-like texture to any dish. Also known as zuksang in Cantonese, they're basically mushrooms that often grow in bamboo forests. In the old days in China, bamboo fungus was considered an expensive delicacy reserved for special occasions since it could only be harvested in the wild. Nowadays, many species of fungi, including this one, are cultivated and they can be commonly found in most Asian grocery stores. It works especially well on Buddha's delight as it soaks in the delicious sauces and rich flavors of other ingredients.
佢啲凍水再浸佢，浸清啲水佢，煮出嚟靚啲，洗乾淨啊！洗乾淨之後咧，個頭嗰度切咗佢嘅。
There's no need to be too exact here, but we'll cut them into around 1 to 2 inch segments.
好啦，竹身就整好啦。
This next ingredient is critical for the texture.
呢個係腐竹，竹片嚟嘅。我要炸腐竹嘅時候咧，我要剪一煎佢，啲容易炸啲嚇。唔想炸嘅你就浸啦，個暖水浸佢10分鐘，搣開佢就可以煮得啦。
6 people asked, including
Wow.
Richard, Mary, JT, and Winnie from Patreon,
Wow.
are there specific ingredients you can or cannot include?
總之你唔俾肉係叫做煮製，菜啲材料咧唔一定係要根據我呢，你中意食乜就俾乜，都即係唔係食俾肉啊，就叫做製。
你自己覺得一定要有咩俾呢？
冬菇唔少得，少咗冬菇啲劑就唔好食。我一定係要乾冬菇，我唔用嗰啲西新冬菇。乾冬菇煮出嚟嗰啲味係連水好食啲嘅，香啲嘅。乾冬係咯，好多啊，跟住乾冬菇嘛，粉絲啊、腐竹啊咁去。一定要有粉。粉絲通常個個都俾嘅，粉絲好長啊嘛，叫長長久久，咁啊意頭就係長長久久。
For this dish, you cannot skip cow ear fungus.
Yeah.
You cannot skip. Snow pea and fancy. Fujuk, pretty much some of the material made this dish taste good. And then you cannot skip. But otherwise, you can put something you like.
咁多樣嘢嘅話，你自己做唔一定話要俾晒咁多樣嘢，任你隨意點樣做。
Next, we'll be preparing our flavors, starting with a secret umami-packed ingredient my dad uses in a bunch of other dishes.
呢個咧就係南乳，一陣間嚟起鑊煮嘢嘅。我哋先撳水啲南乳佢，撳一撳啲南乳嚇，係一個半安士咁上下嘅南乳咧。我一陣間起鑊嚟煮嘢。
So someone said they've had it and it didn't have any taste. And she was asking, like, do I need to add MSG?
你開始要蠔油之後咧，一定要俾南乳。
Okay, 如果冇
南乳
咁
冇南乳咧，
蠔油同你
加多啲蠔油同埋生抽落去。知呢個菜咧落多少少糖。我而家咧就搞埋呢個嘅sauce先啦。
For the sauce, we'll mix together 1 tablespoon of vegetarian oyster sauce, 1 tablespoon of light soy sauce, 1 teaspoon of dark soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of cooking wine, 2 teaspoons of sugar, a half teaspoon of salt, we can always add more later if needed, and a 1/4 teaspoon of white pepper. Then we'll give it a quick mix. We have all of these ingredients listed on our blog at madewithlau.com, along with step-by-step instructions and video clips to guide you as you make the recipe at home. This next step is really important and extremely easy to get wrong, so pay attention to what my dad does here.
我而家咧就開始炸嗰啲腐竹先嚇。我而家開火嚇。
We'll heat the wok on high until it's hot, about 30 to 40 seconds. Then we'll add oil.
4-5個安士油咁上下。
We'll swirl the oil around to make sure it's heating evenly. Once the oil is at 160 degrees Celsius, or after about a minute of heating, we're ready to fry the dried beancurd sheets.
炸起個浮起啦嘛，係咪？咁得啦。
Once the sheet starts to bubble and float, or about 8 to 10 seconds, it's ready to come out. We'll fry these in batches to not crowd the wok.
好快脆炸呢啲。收晒啦，新火。而家啲油咧就倒翻佢過嚟啦。
My dad always reserves oil to use in cooking other ingredients or dishes. After the deep frying, we'll move on to blanching our ingredients, so we'll heat up a pot of water.
我知咧，雲耳。
Once the water is boiling, we'll add in a clouder fungus and baby corn. After 20 to 30 seconds, we'll follow with the bamboo fungus. After another 30 to 40 seconds, we'll take them out.
飛水就得㗎。
Now we'll blanch the next batch of veggies.
嗰啲紅蘿蔔而家係生嘅，整翻熟佢西芹。
We'll blanch the carrot and celery for about a minute and a half. Then they're ready to come out.
好啦，滾啦，已經熟㗎啦嚇。
I also wanted to make a special shout out to thank all of our wonderful Patreon supporters for helping bring this video to life. If you enjoy our videos and are interested in supporting us directly, head on over to patreon.com/madewithlau to learn more. Now that we're done blanching, we'll switch back to the wok for some stir frying. There are a lot of subtle nuances here and a simple sequence that my dad uses to avoid over or undercooking certain ingredients, so pay close attention. First, we'll heat the wok on high for about 1 minute.
燒完咗鑊之後咧，我就加油落㗎啦。
Then we'll add about 2 tablespoons of the oil we saved from earlier.
新聞火啲嚇，啲蒜頭、薑、南乳起鑊爆香佢。好啦，我哋閂咗火啊。係，你頭先太猛火啊，而家開中火，開個中火得㗎啦。
After stir frying the aromatics for 20 to 30 seconds, we'll add the shiitake mushrooms.
一啲冬菇炒佢。好啦，俾人啲潮菜梗落去。啲潮菜梗煮耐啲㗎嘛要。
We'll add the king oyster mushrooms here too. A general cooking tip, my dad usually stir fries thicker vegetables and mushrooms first since they take longer to cook. We'll stir fry for 30 to 40 seconds, then add some cooking wine.
呢啲酒落去斬酒佢，呢個一個茶匙咧，係嘛？好啦，浸冬菇啲水係好靚嘅。
Now we'll add about 8 ounces of water, including the water we used to soak the shiitake mushrooms.
好啦，而家咧就俾埋呢啲落㗎啦，菜。
We'll put in all the ingredients we blanched earlier.
嗱，俾埋呢啲上去。
Don't forget the napa cabbage leaves, and of course, our deep-fried friend from before.
腐竹俾落去。
Wow. Now we'll cover with a lid and cook for 4 to 5 minutes.
佢有啲蒸氣出嚟咧，佢啲腐竹就會腍晒㗎啦。而我掀蓋啦。哦，啲腐竹腍晒啦嚇。
We need from Patreon asks, does your dad use bok choy?
係，佢用發菜。我通常咧年初一煮齋我就用發菜，今日冇俾，因為我知有好多人唔一定中意發菜，亦都冇發菜。
如果你揾得到發菜，
你可以俾發菜。
咁你點樣煮？
一樣啫嘛，你俾啲水浸咪得咯。
Every year we use fat choy.
發菜。
Yeah.
都係發菜啦。好啦，起埋啲海鮮菇落去啦。
Once we've mixed in the seafood mushrooms, we'll add the all-important sauce we created earlier.
而家再俾埋呢啲料、啲味料，起晒佢落去。
Pro tip, my dad uses some of the liquid from the wok to get the remaining fermented beancurd from the dish because every bit counts.
細咗能煙。 而家試一試夠唔夠鹹先，如果唔夠鹹咧，就再落啲鹽落去啦。再加多少少鹽，有啲半個茶匙鹽落去，因為我哋而家煲嘢大煲啊，一落啲鹽咧，啲菜就出水㗎啦。我哋而家咧俾啲粉絲落㗎啦，啲粉絲落去中間。點解喺中間？啲汁喺晒中間啊嘛，你而家咧就俾啲粉絲落去，咪薄細啲乾水咯。
Someone asks, are there any shortcuts to making this? Maybe using an instant pot or a pressure cooker?
唔需要，知呢個都唔使好時間啫嘛，一陣間煮好啦，冚爐冚住佢炒15分鐘煮好，使乜佢哋高壓煲啫？
Well, maybe a question for that is if somebody only has 20 minutes to make this. Is there a shortcut?
最多你唔俾咁多樣嘢煮咯，
I think the
俾
shortcut
少啲咯。
less ingredient.
你唔俾冬菇唔使浸耐咯，你唔俾粉絲咪唔使浸耐咯。
一定要有冬菇。
你咪俾生鮮冬菇，好多人用生鮮冬菇啫。你俾5、6樣我食齋，總之我唔俾肉落去煮，俾啲齋蠔油落去，咁樣冚住等佢吸乾晒啲水佢，快㗎啦。
One of the big challenges with Buddha's Delight is preventing it from turning into a big soup, since we have so many vegetables potentially releasing water content. My dad will be showing us a few easy techniques to prevent this, starting with cornstarch.
仲有我想開個薄芡上去。
We'll mix 1 tablespoon of cornstarch and 1 tablespoon of water to make a slurry for later.
係呢個生粉水嚟嘅，攪勻佢，最尾先落去，睇下嗰啲粉絲熟唔熟得晒啲水先啊！
Remove the lid after about a minute and a half.
啲粉絲，俾埋啲甜豆落去，咁至於個甜豆咧，佢就唔會黃晒咯，咪靚咯。俾埋個芡汁落去。
We don't necessarily need to add all the slurry. Add some and give it a stir to see if it's enough to thicken the sauce to your preference.
How do you like not have water at the bottom?
你因為冇水，一定要俾粉絲擺落底下，佢就煮熟啲粉絲嘅時候，佢熟嗰啲水啦。如果你覺得佢仲有汁喺度咧，俾啲生粉開啲水。我頭先啲落啲生粉落去啫，佢啲菜咪滑啲咯。好啦，俾埋啲麻油，都通常嘅麻油，多啲油唔緊要。好啦，開始生火啦。
Now we'll see if the next generation will approve of this classic New Year's dish.
紅隊落嚟食嘢咯，紅隊食齋咯嗱。
Good? Yeah, that's good.
This dish you don't really have to do in the new year. All year long you can do
Yeah.
it.
I feel like around the world, most people, they want to start off the year eating clean and healthy.
Yeah.
This is that kind of a dish.
賀年齋菜就煮好咗啦，希望大家新年快樂，身體健康。
Cheers!
YouTube thinks you'll like watching this recipe next. Let's see if they're right.